She knew what it felt like to be subject to the whims of circumstance, to feel like you were destined to always be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Born the fifth of 10 children in an impoverished black family in rural Georgia, she had been initially kept from participating in sports by her parents, who found it unladylike. She had been barred from teams and facilities because of her race. She had been in peak condition in 1940 and 1944 when the Olympics were canceled because of World War II. And now, when she had finally made it to that biggest sports stage in the world, she had suffered a back injury. And yet, on this night, she knew that she was exactly where she belonged. And with a single jump, she proved it to the entire world. Today is Thursday, August 7th, 2025, and on this day in 1948, high jumper Alice Coachman became the first black woman from any country to win an Olympic gold medal, setting a new world record in the process. I'm your host, Running Up That Hillary, and you are listening to Today in Running History. Alice Coachman was born into the heart of the segregated South in 1923, and as a child would help provide for her family by picking cotton, carrying corn to mills to be ground, and picking pecans and plums to be sold. As a child, Coachman's father not only discouraged her sporting ambitions, he would actually whip her for pursuing them. Undeterred, Coachman continued to run races and play pickup baseball games with the kids in her neighborhood, and it was clear early on that she was a talented athlete. In fifth grade, her teacher Cora Bailey recognized Coachman's talent and encouraged her to keep training, and by the seventh grade, she was one of the best athletes in town. But training was not easy as segregation prevented Coachman from utilizing athletic facilities. Instead, she would practice sprinting with barefoot runs along the nearby dirt roads and create makeshift high jump equipment out of sticks and rags she tied together. Alice Coachman initially joined her public school's track team, but her talent quickly caught the attention of the Tuskegee Institute in neighboring Alabama, who offered her a scholarship. As a sophomore in high school, Coachman transferred to Tuskegee, and her high jumping career truly took off. Although she now had access to real training facilities and equipment, Coachman still preferred to compete barefoot, and that is exactly how she won the national championship in 1939 in a new collegiate high jump record. After earning her high school diploma, Alice Coachman remained at the Tuskegee Institute, transferring to the college division to earn her degree in dressmaking. And let me just say that there's nothing wrong with being a dressmaker, but this is such a ridiculously 1940s college degree. Like, women can finally attend college, but only if they study something ladylike. Oh, and Coachman's scholarship required her to clean and mend sports uniforms, and you know that they were not requiring the men on track scholarships to do the same. But I digress. Anyways, Alice Coachman absolutely dominated in the high jump, winning 10 consecutive national championships between 1939 and 1948. She was also a talented sprinter, winning national titles in the 50 and 100 meters and running on the 4x100 meter relay team while at Tuskegee. She got her degree in dressmaking from the Tuskegee Institute in 1946 and then moved back home to Albany, Georgia to earn a bachelor degree in home economics from Albany State College. Because the 1940 and 1944 Olympics were both canceled due to World War II, Alice Coachman's first opportunity to compete at the international level was the 1948 Olympic Games in London. That year, the U.S. track and field Olympic trials held separate events for the men and women, with the men's over the course of 2 days at Northwestern Stadium in Illinois, and with the women's as an afterthought crammed into a single day at a much smaller stadium in Rhode Island. At those trials, Alice Coachman broke the 16-year-old Olympic trials record with a height of 1.63 meters. The following month, Coachman traveled to London to represent Team USA on the global stage. Only 3 women cleared the high jump bar at 1.61 meters, so at that point, Alice Coachman was guaranteed a spot on the podium. After it was raised to 1.64 meters, only Coachman and a Brit named Dorothy Tyler remained. Both women cleared the bar at 1.66 meters, which was a new Olympic record. And let me talk about the previous Olympic record for a moment. A couple days ago, and I hope y'all listened to this episode, author Maggie Mertens and I discussed Tidy Pickett and Louise Stokes, who became the first Black American women to qualify for the Olympics back in 1932. We also talked a bit about the discrimination they faced, including from their own team, before being removed from the relay pool and replaced with slower white women. The loudest and most obnoxious opponent to Stokes and Pickett competing for Team USA was a woman named Babe Didrikson. One notable incident from Didrikson came on the train to the 1932 Olympics in Los Angeles when she threw ice water on Stokes and Pickett while they were sleeping for the sole purpose of terrorizing them and making it clear that she was not okay with their presence on the team. At the 1932 Olympics, Didrikson won 2 gold medals and a silver, setting a new Olympic record of 1.65 meters in the high jump in the process. Fast forward to 1948, and it was Didrikson's record that was broken by Alice Coachman and Dorothy Tyler. And it just makes me so happy to know that such a vicious racist had the privilege of watching her Olympic record be taken down by a Black woman. After both women cleared 1.66 meters, the bar was raised to 1.68, which Alice Coachman cleared on her very first attempt, making it yet another new Olympic record. Dorothy Tyler made it over on her second attempt, and both women were unable to clear 1.7 meters, making Coachman the official gold medalist and Tyler the silver. Her win in the high jump at the 1948 Olympics made Alice Coachman the first Black woman from any nation to win a gold medal in any Olympic event, and she was also the only American woman to win a gold medal in any track and field event that year. The gold medal was presented by the King of England, and she was received by President Truman upon her return to the U.S. Alice Coachman retired from athletics soon after the 1948 Olympics, and she went on to become a school teacher and a track coach. In 1952, she became a spokeswoman for Coca-Cola, making her the first Black woman to be endorsed by any international consumer brand. She was prominently featured on Coca-Cola billboards alongside Jesse Owens throughout the 1950s. Decades later, at the age of 70, she founded the Alice Coachman Track and Field Foundation to provide young athletes with the resources needed to nurture their talents. At the age of 80, Coachman was finally inducted into the U.S. Olympic Hall of Fame. And at the age of 90, she died at home in Albany, Georgia, just miles from where she was born. But now, the local athletics facilities from which she was once barred had been renamed in her honor. That is all I have for y'all today. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, rate 5 stars, and then send this episode to that one guy you know from high school who was a high jumper. And then join me tomorrow to meet 2 American athletes who, like Louise Stokes and Tidy Pickett, were removed from the Olympic relay pool, but for a much different reason. I'm your host, Running Up That Hillary, and this has been Today in Running History. Ground and picking pecans and plums. Picking pecans and plums. Peter Piper. Okay. That year, the U.S. Track and Field Olympic trials were held separate event. The U.S. Track and Field trials held. Okay. Oh, God. And I'm the one that wrote this. This is like, I can't even read my own writing. Coachman traveled to, no, wait, that's not an American record. Because then that's not what I say later. What happened here? What happened? Oh, no, it's the Olympic trials record. Olympic trials record, okay.
10 minutes later.
Okay, yeah, it was the trials record. Okay, but I caught that because I wrote that down wrong and I knew it sounded wrong because... Okay, cool. I hope you enjoyed all that silence of me double-checking my notes. Okay. The loudest and most obnoxious opponent to Stokes and Pickett competing for Team USA. Team USA, those are 2 separate... The loudest and most obnoxious opponent to Stokes and Pickett competing for Team USA was a woman named Babe Didrikson. Babe Didrikson, what a stupid name. And what a terrible person. Okay. One notable interest in, oh my God. She was prominently featured on Coca-Cola billboards